Hey, good morning. It's Patricia Murphy. It's Friday. This is Seattle Now. We did it again. Another week. Masks are a free-for-all. Starbucks is going to stop giving you a paper cup, and Congress is really thinking about year-round daylight saving time. Did not expect that. We're making sense of another week with Crosscut's Hannah Weinberger and the Needling's Lex Vaughn. But first, let's get you caught up. Washingtonians won't be subject to any Texas-style legislation that threatens lawsuits for ending a pregnancy. Governor Inslee signed a new law yesterday banning legal action against a person seeking an abortion or anyone who helps them get one. It comes after Idaho passed a bill that bans abortion after more than 6 weeks and lets others sue to enforce it. That's similar to the mechanism used in Texas that's currently being challenged at the Supreme Court. The new state law takes effect in June. Meanwhile, it'll soon be a little easier to cross the U.S.-Canada border if you're vaccinated. Starting next month, vaccinated travelers won't need to show proof of a negative test. Canadian officials dropped the requirement yesterday. They say they'll still conduct random testing at the crossing. Anyone who hasn't been fully vaccinated still needs to show a negative test result and quarantine for 2 weeks. And the rain will be without forward Megan Rapinoe for tonight's home opener. She's out with a calf injury. It's the club's first appearance at Lumen Field since moving back up from Tacoma. They'll face rivals, the Portland Thorns. Match starts at 7. Happy Friday, everyone. We made it. Spring officially starts on Sunday. Looks like it'll be a rainy start to things this weekend, but a sweet warm-up next week will have you shedding the layers. Hannah Weinberger is here, reporter at real news organization Crosscut, and Lex Vaughn is here too, editor of the fake news site, The Needling. So great to see both of you.
Same here.
Hi, nice to see you guys.
Rain should help keep the pollen down this week. My car, though, is a wreck. It's red with a solid layer of yellow dust. What are you two noticing with the pollen this week?
It did come early. I guess we're in the third year of going, is it COVID or allergies? I hope it's allergies. It's probably allergies.
Absolutely. I am on watch for where I sneeze. You know, that's like the ultimate taboo. But conversely, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of color around. Like, I'm here for it. It's public art.
Both of my cats are sneezing. I'm sneezing. Northwest Allergy says it's alder that is bugging us right now. One good reason to keep your mask on. Speaking of masks, you two, we are 1 week into the choose your own mask adventure. The governor's indoor mask order was lifted over the weekend, and we are all figuring it out together. How's it going?
My life feels relatively unchanged. I don't know about y'all, but I can count on my fingers the number of strangers I've seen unmasked indoors this week. And I get that people want to be able to wear their glasses without fogging them up or not hyperventilate at the gym. Like, the second I feel safe doing karaoke, it's absolutely over for everyone. And like, rationally, where numbers are in our county, and with case counts and vaccination and given my vax status, I can reasonably unmask without likely immediate harm to myself, but I'm still masking. While current numbers suggest I'm overreacting and unnecessarily limiting my life, long-term, wearing some fabric on my face doesn't seem like a sacrifice. Like, shouldn't I do the easiest thing that I can that limits transmission to help avoid incubating a new variant or infecting an immunocompromised or otherwise more vulnerable neighbor who's basically being told, editorializing by Congress that their health isn't worth investing in? Like, we're not just rolling masks back, we're not investing in enduring COVID testing, vaccination, and treatment. So, like, if I have to wear a KN95, which gives me some really lovely anonymity, honestly, and keeps my face warm on walks, like, I'm about it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Honestly, on errands, I don't know why people don't want to have their mask on. Like, I hate running into people I know when I'm shopping. Like, I'm not here for this. I need to go in and out.
I don't know about you, but like when I'm holding like a family-sized box of like Reese's Puff cereal, like I don't want people to know who I am.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just amazing what you can buy without being ashamed now.
You are strong, because I feel like I was a victim of mob rules this week. I went to the Petco the other day with my mask on, exited my vehicle with my mask on, intent on wearing it. Saw 1, 2, 3 people come out of the store without a mask. You know, I just pulled that puppy off and stuffed it in my pocket. I might as well have been in high school. I might as well have been in high school with the cool kids, you know, staring at me. It was so strange. I was surprised at myself. But I think, Hannah, there's something in what you're saying, is that my resolve to do this is being tested at this point. Like, what do I know about my risk versus everybody else's risk, and where am I falling in that? This is where it's starting to fray a little bit. And I think this is going to be, like we said at the beginning, a choose your own adventure situation for people.
I confess, I think it's like a lot of people are making up their own rules now that don't totally make sense. Like I did go indoors without a mask once this last, week to meet with someone at a bar, but it's like in my head I'm calculating, okay, well, everyone in this bar decided to be in here, drinking. But I don't think I'm going to do that in a grocery store. And I don't know if those rules make sense.
No, I think it does. Like, it's been something that I've really struggled with. When does my responsibility for my neighbors end? And I've always been on the end of like, I should do whatever I can, even if it limits my life, which is like maybe unnecessarily sanctimonious. But like when you're in a bar, everybody has agreed to be there and accepted the risk. So it does get really messy.
I don't feel as bad about whatever happens to any of us.
Speaking of like the people around you influencing your decisions, I was at Costco and there was like a mom and daughter pair, and it was the first day that you were allowed to unmask indoors in King County. And the daughter was like, "Mom, you don't have to wear that. Like, it's fine." And the mom just straight up ignored her and kept her mask on. I was like, that's just like just kept going about her business. Like, we're just past having conversations about it.
Last week, we flipped the clocks, and this week, we found out it might be permanent. On Tuesday, the Sunshine Protection Act sailed through the U.S. Senate. I don't even understand this. What the heck? We cannot agree on anything in this country, but we are unanimous on staying on daylight saving time. How is this possible?
It's more beautiful just for that unanimous vote. I just I don't like, just put aside whether we should change the way time works here or not. How beautiful is it that we agreed on anything? Let's just embrace that. Hold on to it for a moment.
Yeah, they picked daylight saving time. If you two had to live with one forever, which one would it be? Standard time or daylight saving time, as a reminder, because I know so many people are confused. 4 p.m. sunsets in December or 10 p.m. sunset in June?
I really needed that because I am very confused.
I think this is part of the problem, but we don't have to go into that.
I like having the sun later for so many reasons. I mean, it's like, don't you want to have a little sun after work? I think that's so depressing when you're done with work and, there's nothing left. That sucks.
I hear you. I'm extraordinarily conflicted here. So I really want to support DST. It's a concept that has roots. I swear to God, this like old-timey entomologist, I think they were Australian, maybe correct me, just wanting a little bit more light in the evenings to go rooting around for insects. Like, that's endearing as heck. And DST has been tried in the US before as a means to reduce energy use, which, we could do with right now, and to give kids time to play outside after school. I do think it's hilarious that some of the support for full year DST is reduced crime and reduced traffic crashes later in the day as like reasons people support it. Because like if you live somewhere where you really need sunlight for that, you got to take a look at your community resourcing and other systems involved in those phenomena. But I, on a personal level, I support full year standard time. I've read concerns regarding the relationship between dark mornings and traffic crashes, that lack of light in the morning messes with our circadian rhythms in ways that damage our health, and that the energy savings that we actually see from full year DST aren't actually that huge. And also, I respect that a lot of people want light after work. I hear you, Lex, but I need to wake up with the sun. I have more energy before work has zapped me, and I want to wake up and use the sunlight that I have, even if it happens at like 4 a.m. in the summer, to just go out and be a person. Although when I do want to go walk around outside at night, as a female presenting person is a little dicey. So jury's out.
I have to confess, I love a dark morning because, like, if I feel like anything that I get done in the morning before the sun comes up feels like really good. And I mean, if the sun came up at like 9, think of how much I would feel good about before 9 a.m.
No, it's like you have a secret, like you're getting a head start on the day if you're up before the sun. No, I hear that.
I feel like, and I've said this before, you know, I've announced my position as a standard time person. I really never had a choice because I have always cycled with the sun. I have always awakened at 5 a.m. It's just a thing. But maybe we should pass the Sleep Protection Act instead, because it sounds like this is what we are really talking about here. No required start times before 11, because what we would accept is that everybody is different and the clock really has nothing to do with it, because we're talking about an hour.
Yeah.
We're talking about an hour. Y'all blow an hour on your TikTok. And you don't even know if the sun's up or down. So let's be real. Let's be real. I am calling it here. Call to action. Sleep Protection Act. For you guys who want to sleep in. And let me and Hannah rock our morning.
Why does the sunshine need our protection?
You're taking away my morning light. Next, you're going to take away my coffee cup. This is what I'm hearing. Starbucks was in the news this week for a couple of reasons. Their CEO is leaving, and founder Howard Schultz is coming back to step in. There's a big union push happening. We've talked about that. 130 stores across the country. But the new news is that they're going to start phasing out paper cups. The company wants to cut their waste in half by 2030. So by the end of next year, Starbucks customers in the U.S. and Canada will be able to use a personal reusable cup.
That's really cool. I think it's also pretty daring considering we just went through a pandemic. Because before the pandemic, there was actually a really cool local, I forget the name of it, but it was a cute little program where they were advocating for, you know, people using reusable cups, and even were stationing like reusable mugs at local cafes. It seemed like a cool way to reduce waste. But then the pandemic came and it was just like they just admitted defeat. They're like, well, guess that's it for us.
No, I mean, like, I'm really glad we're not at the point where we're still, like, sanitizing our mail. There's less of a risk from touch exposure than there used to be, especially with vaccinated people abounding. But I fully support people reducing their waste. On the other hand, I'm going to miss all of that irrational hubbub over holiday cups and the war on Christmas. But
Really, Hannah?
Yeah, I've been bringing my own mug to coffee shops as soon as baristas were comfortable with that again. Like, I don't really go to Starbucks, but when I do, I'd rather get shamed for forgetting to dump out my mug than waste a disposable cup. But, like, what are the restrictions? I've been thinking about this on the personal cup. Like, can I come in with a beer stein or like a reusable mug from a competing cafe?
I'm confused about that myself because I have never actually brought in my own thing to a cafe because it's like I don't know how much I'm throwing them off their game, you know, by using whatever.
It is a standoff. They're like, so what size do you think that is? And I'm like, well, if I'd have to eyeball it, my knowledge of ounces tells me I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you definitely have to have like a designated one that they would be used to or something.
But I mean, what do y'all think about the way that this mega corporation is going about reducing its waste? Like, it requires their customers to make a change. Mm-hmm. And similar to reusable grocery bags, like, if you want to get the sustainability impact out of your reusable mug, you do have to use it a lot if you want it to be worth the cost of the energy and resources that went into it. So I'm really hoping that these experiments Starbucks is touting about giving people more compensation for bringing in their mug, or like even like a rent a mug program, where you leave $1 and they give it back to you when you bring the mug. I don't know. So hopefully it works, but
I'm just wondering about baristas and the kind of mugs that people are going to be handing baristas, because there are a lot of indignities that people on the other side of that counter have to deal with all day long. And, you know, people feel entitled, man. I can just see that dirty little mug getting slid across the counter.
No.
You mind topping that off for me?
I definitely dumped mine out. The one time it happened to me where I forgot was enough of like an absolute shaming for me to never do it again.
Really?
But still,
Really?
Yeah.
So that is a thing. That
like
is
they
a
didn't
thing.
shame me. I felt
But you felt
shame.
it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Think of all the people who wouldn't.
Oh God.
And I mean, part of me wonders if this is just like a very nice PR thing to put out there while so many of their cafes across the country are trying to unionize and that company's trying to sabotage them, fire people who are trying to organize. I think the timing of that might be a little eyebrow raising. Maybe take care of that first.
Let's start with lids. Let's get rid of lids first.
Blow the lid off of this.
Blow the lid off it. All right, we're leaving it there. Thanks to our guests, Lex Vaughn, editor at The Needling, and Hannah Weinberger, reporter at Crosscut. So great to have you two.
Yay. Nice to be here.
Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening. Jason Pagano produced today's show. Matt Jorgensen does our theme music. I'm Patricia Murphy. Have a good weekend.